Hey, I'm Marie. Welcome back to RPGlicious and my Let's Play of Menzoberranzan. Just had to drag the mic a little bit closer. Oh my gosh. I am having a rough couple of days. And I took a break. And then I woke up this morning and I was like, I'm glad this game is here for me because nostalgia is such a wonderful thing. We're gonna have to fix something here though. Because Drist is like in the back. And he's kind of my main melee fighter. He's like a level 15 ranger among a party of like everyone else is like level 6, or Vonar is like level 5 and level 4 in mage and thief. Multi-classing was so weird back in second edition. Everything was just so weird back in second edition. Like, Soon has an armor class of -2, and this is good. Drist has an armor class of -3. This is even better. Like, nothing makes sense, but I grew up on this edition of D&D, so I remember vaguely how it works. Like, not enough that I remember whether you subtract your dice roll from your Thaco or your Thaco from your dice roll. That's 2 hit armor class 0 is what that stands for. Oh my gosh. The combat music is so intense. There's something up around the corner. What is that? I'm following a theory that if I go in the direction of the baddies, that like, hello, that like I will gradually find my way to the drow city of Menzoberranzan. The name of the drow city where Dristir was born, and the name of the game, Menzoberranzan, based on characters from the New York Times best-selling The Legacy by R.A. Salvatore. And when I say based on characters, oh my gosh, these things. The enemies in this game are almost oddly cute sometimes. Like, these are 6-legged rats with gigantic teeth. That's what an osquip is. Oh no, it's not like Driss doesn't have a ton more hit points. The character art, or I guess monster art, because they're monsters. For the Osquip in the actual second edition Dungeons and Dragons Monstrous Manual, where I feel like they appear under the rat entry. Is just like, is even better. Just like the teeth. Are just outrageous. And see their stuff. Okay, so it's not just an absolute labyrinth. The theory of gaming does apply here. Follow where the monsters are, kick the monster butt, get stuff, proceed to the next level. Oh dear. Oh, these things are terrifying. Did I really come down here and not rest? Like I don't have any spells memorized? Oh. Cloaker Lords can like... I feel like their moan can paralyze you or something. I don't know if that mechanic is actually applied in the game or if they just like do a lot of damage, but they're scary. Resting in the Underdark is scary. Mage Scroll of Blur. Sure, why not? Oh, hey, that rhymed. Nice. Can I use this again yet? I wonder. We must be careful. Should we use the scroll and then rest, the effect of its magic may wear off when it is most needed. Oh, I'm sorry. That was self saying that. I totally did that in like the. You know what? It's early. We really ought not to use this scroll until we find a web somewhere. I don't know why we might find a web somewhere. It almost feels as though my life were a video game, and this was planted here because it were intended to be used later, sort of a Chekhov's gun, if you will. But not like Chekhov as in Chekhov from like Star Trek Chekhov, but as in like I don't know what it's actually referencing or how I know the reference. This is totally out of character stuff. Oh no. And I think to myself, like, perhaps the oh no should be in character. Oh no. Or soon, if it was soon, the obligatory sultry oh no. Because every video game has to have a character with an obligatory sultry voice, or an option for an obligatory sultry voice. For one of the female characters in the game, or for your character if you're the one making the main character, I guess. Like in these games. But there's no voices in these games. It's like before that started and became a thing, so it's like I have to sort of like retroactively apply the trope myself. Oh my gosh. What? I don't want to save game with an empty... Why can't I type a... That was rude. Oh my gosh, so, okay. I was mentioning before, I feel like I got distracted by either giant rats attacking me or cloaker lords attacking me. Menzoberranzan, based on characters from the New York Times bestseller The Legacy by R.A. Salvatore. When I say based on characters from that, here's Drist. Here's Vonar, who is not in the book. Earlier, we lost... Oh my gosh, are you slightly encumbered by this two-handed sword? That might be a problem. Anyway, Vonar is not in the book. Balthazar, whom we lost earlier, whom I should little care for, as though like I'm supposed to care about this character because I've read all these books and like these characters are like based on the characters in the books, right? Well, guess what? Not in the books. Oh dear. I should probably go back and rest somewhere. Resting is so scary in the Underdark because you're like, there's monsters everywhere. And are they just gonna run up on the party while they're asleep? And it's dark, and you wake up, and it's dark. Oh my gosh, have I leveled up recently? Do I have any spell slots that I'm not taking advantage of? No. Alright. We're good. Who else have we run into so far? Oh, Meldathar, the centaur that seemed to know Drist very well, not in the books. Like, these characters were made for this game. Invisibility 10-foot radius. I wonder would that cover the whole party? What other characters have we run into so far? Vermilion? The druid. Oh shit! I did not see that thing because I didn't have Dress special fairy fire ability active, but like... Oh, I forget I can only use the Cone of Cold from the Stone of Winter once per day. Oh my gosh. This game is so scary, like, especially sitting alone in a quiet room playing this game is like... And like, because look at how much damage they did. Soon is traumatized. If she never sees another Cloaker Lord again. Anyway. This game actually gets my heart pounding, but like as far as being based on characters from the Legacy, like how many of those characters have we run into so far? Not one. We've had a bunch of NPCs and like chances for other characters from the books to show up. And like I think about gold box D&D games, specifically like the ones that were based on kind of loosely based on the Dragonlance Chronicles trilogy by Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman, but like I'm picking these up in like just in case I come across a cleric later, I guess. But like very much featured many of the characters from the books in very central roles to the plot. And like of course, you know, you can add in, you know, one or two NPCs that are like, "Oh, hey, this is new and unique to the game," right? If you're going to base something off the books, but like Menzoberranzan, I just have to say, based on the characters from the Legacy, based on not events from the timeline of the Legend of Drist books at all. I feel like okay, Drist is a drow, so he can levitate, which is funny because he lost that ability in the book Sojourn from being above ground. But levitating is not enough, because levitating is not enough to like walk forward through this. Like, that music is so dramatic for a rat with overgrown teeth. I'm sorry. Although, maybe not. Because like in real life, rodents are kind of scary. Like, rodents in places rodents are not supposed to be totally terrify me. Like, if you see a loose rodent in your house that you're like, this is not my pet. I don't own a pet rodent. This should not be here. It's a very unsettling experience. Because, like, they're tiny like bugs, but they're not bugs, but they're freaky like bugs because they're tiny and they scurry and like they shouldn't be there, and they're like a pest, I guess, when they shouldn't be around. Oh my gosh. Those chompers are like... Soon is wearing, what, chainmail and like... Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to go run and find a place to rest again. This is what I get for not having a cleric in the party. Ugh, too many monsters about. Oh no, really? I ran right into another one. Like, I'm totally gonna waste a magic missile on this rat. Because they can bite through chainmail, apparently. I feel like Soon lost a lot of blood. That's right, I'm supposed to be casting armor on someone new every time I rest. I feel like this game is so much more colorful than the Underdark would actually be. Like, look at these orange coral colored caves. This would be just like gray if it were as described in the books. And like, I feel like this whole video game is kind of really like it's a good example of how video games back in the day were much more colorful than they are nowadays. So I feel like I should be on the lookout for a potion of like jump or fly or something like that, or like a scroll, just something that can be used to get past this like upper level entryway. So I'm gonna kind of make sure that I pick up like everything. That way if I go back and I look at the map and I see an object and I'm like, I don't have to wonder if I missed it. Sometimes, like, you finish combat and the regular music doesn't start back up. And just the eerie quietness is like waiting for the combat music to start again. It's just too much to take. I did turn the music down a little bit too because I realized the music in this game gets just like ridiculously loud. Like, the music is back and it just hits you with so much relief. Your heart slows down, your blood pressure drops. You're like, okay, I'm safe. Oh my gosh. It's like I have PTSD from monsters jumping out at me in this game. I do also have clinically diagnosed PTSD, so I can joke around like that, but it's like it's me, but like really I do have that kind of reaction to the combat music turning on in this game in the Underdark. I'm just like, because like, oh my gosh, Felf is not doing well, like. And this game is very much like, I guess, maybe 2nd edition Dungeons and Dragons just sends really strong monsters after you all the time. Because I feel like, alright, so I mentioned the gold box, Kryn, Dragonlance games earlier, and I very much, very often tried to play the last game in the series, The Dark Queen of Kryn. Like, I tried to start playing it anyway. So many times as a child, like, oh my gosh. And every time I would just die. Like, the whole party would just die. Like, TPK, whole party dead. One of these walls seems, well, not quite like a wall. Perhaps it is actually a hole in the wall. So, like, any elf in the party will say that near an illusionary wall. Ooh, because, like, they're supposed to be able to sense secret doors. But, like, it doesn't tell you where it is on the map until you turn around and go through it. Like, a lot of times, it'll be behind you. So it's helpful to just, like, turn around and try to walk through the wall, but if that doesn't work, you're just kind of, like, stuck trying to walk through nearby walls, but eventually you find it. I would die just like so many times as a kid playing the Dark Queen of Kryn though, and like I feel like, is it maybe just a thing about 2nd edition Dungeons and Dragons that they like constantly send really tough monsters after you like all the time? Because in that game you're starting off at a higher level even. Because it's the last game in the series, like even if you make new characters, they start out at a higher level. Oh my gosh. The combat music on this level is so creepy. I don't want to fight anything right now. Go away. But like the monsters would still just like kill the whole party on like one of the first levels. And I wonder if is that just a thing about 2nd edition D&D? And I guess that's one of the reasons why I prefer 4th edition D&D, because it feels like very much the opposite. Like, even at low levels, you have like monsters that are called minions that are like, for those of you who've not played 4th edition, monsters like have 1 hit point if they're minions. Like, if you hit them and they're a minion, they're dead. So you can just like cleave and sweep through waves. There's a null somewhere. Oh my gosh. Waves and waves of minions. And you feel like a badass. You feel like an adventure hero. You feel like you're like Aragorn up in the Lord of the Rings, like just cleaving through wave after wave of orc limb after orc limb. And like it feels like maybe in every other edition of D&D you're just kind of constantly like fighting for your life, and I'm like, I have enough of that in real life, thank you. Gaming is supposed to be escapism. I don't want to have to constantly fight for my life. You know, I noticed earlier that Vonar was encumbered with this sword, and I guess I must have loaded a save or something since I swapped it out for the bow. But at the same time, it's not really slowing me down. It's just like, he's kind of complaining a little bit, and I feel bad for him because he's got like a broken wing from that drow attack, but like, he's just a video game character and he's not even in the books. Like, there's not a lot of chatter in this game, I will say. There's not a lot of time spent getting to know these characters. I feel like the nostalgia for them is real. But like, at the same time, I didn't really get to know them very well. Like, I would have loved to have had more interaction from these characters, because Vonar is cool. Like, look, he's a bird dude. Like, he's a kinku is what they're called. He's a fucking bird dude. Like, and all we know about him is just like he apparently knows Drist, even though he's not in the books. And he got attacked by a drow raiding party because he was like flying overhead and decided to like fly down to look at the drow raiding party, and they attacked him. It's a weird little graphical glitch in the center of the screen for a second. I have no idea where I'm going. This is back where I started. Ooh. That looks scary. That looks like a Leocrata. Is it? It totally is. Oh my gosh. I haven't rested since I used the Stone Winter last. Did that even hit? Oh my gosh. Do I have Sinking Cloud memorized? Yes. Oh no, really? Did I accidentally cast it behind the thing instead? Well, it looks stuck. It always freaks me out. It makes me think that one of my characters got hit whenever the Leocrata makes a pain noise sometimes, because it makes like a human sounding pain noise because Leocrata mimic human voices. But oh, we're fine. We're good. We're not dead yet. I feel like even watching my dad play this game as a kid, like the monsters stepping out from the corner were scary every time. Oh, it's just like he's in the dark off over in the distance, and he's like, he could walk towards me, but he's not. It's just menacing me. I guess he's stuck on these stalactites. Sorry, they're not stalactites, they're stalagmites. One of them comes from the ceiling, the other one comes from the ground, and the easiest way to remember which is which is that ceiling starts with ground. G. Wait. Ceiling starts with C, and ground starts with G. It might be a bit high. Oh my gosh. It was like I just thought that there was that Leocrata, and it's like there's all these gnolls. It was a trap. Oh. You've got some spells, don't you, Voner? You're a fighter mage thief. He's just... I refuse to go near him. He's just... He's definitely stuck on the stalagmite and just like... menacing me from there. Like, I've got to kill you. It's the end of the episode, and you've got to die. Uh, oh, thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time on RPGlicious. Later.